The reason why I was inspired to write Splash was because when I was growing up, there was no role models. There was nobody that looked like me in books or in the media. And I really struggled during my teenage years. I was super self-conscious. And it's something that, you know, I've always talked about, and the lack of representation, particularly within children's books. And my sister was like, during the first lockdown, she's like, why don't you actually do something about it, Claire? You know, rather than just keep moaning. And I was like, but I'm useless. I can't write. I'm terrible. My grammar's bad. I've never been good at English. And she was like, well, I'm sure somebody will help you. So I got in contact with a few authors and a few different publishing companies. And then I was like, do you know what? Why don't I practice what I preach and actually step outside my comfort zone and do something that scares me, and actually try and change the status quo, try and get there to be more inclusivity and representation within children's books. So yeah, and then Splash is being released on the 10th of June. So it's been a pretty crazy whirlwind. Not once in the book do I mention the fact that, you know, Claire has one arm, because I just want it to seem normal. I want people to look at a children's book and see a main character with a disability, and that to just appear normal, rather than loads of attention drawn to that thing or that disability. I grew up in Dubai, and obviously you're surrounded by water. So it was a really important life skill. And so it was just how do I gain that confidence? You know, my parents were really keen for me to learn to swim. So just took it step by step, day by day, and just kind of went that little bit further each time until, you know, finally I got in the water and just relaxed my breathing, and stopped panicking about the vastness of the water, and realized actually it was quite liberating, and that the freedom that you felt in the water was amazing, but also almost that ability to float and like the water kind of cocooning around your body just felt incredible. And I was like, what is this fear? And, you know, soon I loved it and wanted to be a mermaid and a dolphin and just playing around all day long in the pool. So the fear, I think, mainly came from the fact that, and still sometimes I do actually get it, particularly when I swim open water, is the fear of like sharks or something underneath me, which is really ridiculous, because when you're in a swimming pool, there is definitely no sharks. I think that's why it makes you go faster, particularly when I'm swimming, you know, thinking there might be a shark chasing me. But no, I think it's just breaking it down into a really simple process, and just easing your way in, taking those steps and relaxing your breathing. Just be willing to step outside your comfort zone and do something that does scare you. And I wanted to keep up with my sisters. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to do everything they were doing, and they were having fun in the pool, so I wanted to too. So I definitely think, so I switched from swimming into para-triathlon, and I actually noticed that I was moving more towards a fixed mindset, in terms of I was kind of scared of stepping outside and looking stupid, and you know, I almost like that confidence inside me had gone, because I was worried. Everything was so new, and I'd come from the top of my sport in swimming to going into a completely new sport in triathlon, and I thought people would expect me to be, you know, elite athlete straight away. So I almost sometimes avoided those challenges, and I avoided doing things that I wasn't very good at, because I was worried about what people would think of me. But as soon as I realized that, I was like, I need to change this. I need to change my mindset. And I need to look at those challenges as an opportunity to grow, as an opportunity to, just an opportunity to be better than, you know, I have been. And it's incredible how powerful your mind is, and actually how you can change it. You know, often we think that we're born with a fixed or growth mindset, but I truly believe that it's something that we can work on, and just see opportunities as something that you want to achieve. Definitely, there's a few plans in the pipeline, and they're very much in the pipeline right now. But you know, I would love to do. I've got some other ideas that I'd love to put down on paper and create more books. But obviously I want to see how this one goes first. Being my first one, it's quite a nerve-wracking thing, because I just really hope, you know, people enjoy it as much as I enjoyed writing it. If I was going to give one piece of advice to children wanting to take up sport professionally, I think it'd be, don't be afraid to fail. The failure teaches you so much about yourself, and just use it as an opportunity to learn and step outside your comfort zone. You know, it's incredible, because I don't think you can be truly successful until you've pushed yourself so far out your comfort zone that you do fall short of expectations. You might fall short and you might not achieve what you want to achieve, but use that opportunity to learn and to come back stronger and better and more knowledgeable than you would have been before. I always loved The Hungry Caterpillar. It wasn't necessarily what inspired me to write the book, but I just think the colours and the way you see this caterpillar develop through life and blossom into this beautiful butterfly is something that I really loved about that book, and I remember reading that regularly with my parents. But obviously I don't have children of myself, so I'm not reading too many bedtime stories anymore, but I love reading them to my nephews when I get the opportunity to. Napping is probably one of my favourite things about being a full-time athlete, is actually having that time to nap. And it's really important just to be able to rest, recover, switch the brain off, and then be able to come back for the next session or your third session of the day, really just refreshed. So yeah, it's something that I do most days. And if it's not a proper nap, it's just lying down on the sofa, just making sure, switching everything off essentially. The main time is as soon as I come back from swimming. So early morning swimming, I would try and go to bed pretty much straight away. I find if I don't go to sleep before 12 o'clock, I've kind of lost it. It's not going to happen. And then it will just be like a lying there session instead. So yeah, I often struggle after having caffeine, and particularly if I have caffeine for harder sessions, I then really struggle to sleep in that window. But it's just not getting stressed about it and being like, well, I'm still resting, I'm still recovering, so it doesn't matter if I'm not getting, you know, the actual nap. But yeah, I'm a big sleeper. I like my 9-10 hours overnight, and then the nap as well. Very greedy with my sleep.